Hey,
Hello.
how's it going,
It's going
everyone?
good.
Whoa. Yeah, everyone's feeling refreshed and energized for another episode of Umineko.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. I shall
um
solve this
so
mystery.
so let's talk about what happened last time. Last time cuz I had to leave super quick.
Yeah.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about it. So it ended with Ava Beatrice was killing Rosa and Maria over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then normal the original Beatrice, or they're not Beatrice anymore, they're Beato.
Yeah.
So Beato was all like, isn't this awesome, Battler? And the Battler was like, no, I'm gonna go away, I don't want to watch this. And then
Yeah.
Beato was all like, what? And then she went and she was like, yeah, no, Beatrice, you gotta stop. And then she kills Maria with there's like strangle marks, the hand marks around her neck.
Really.
And
Okay.
then Ava gets thrown onto the spike of the fence.
Yeah. Now that you say it, it's all coming back to me now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what happened last week.
And then you said that Ava Beatrice had to be Shannon.
I think, oh, I guess, yeah.
Even though Shannon's dead.
Yeah.
I didn't understand
Oh, wait,
that. I
wait,
didn't
wait,
have time
no.
to ask
Holy
about
shit, that
that.
actually makes literally no sense. Because
Yeah.
she said in red that all these
That
people
Shannon...
died.
Yeah, all the servants are dead.
So Ava Beatrice is just a personality.
Maybe. Although, I think, because Ava, at the same time that Ava Beatrice is killing Rosa Maria over and over again, it
Yeah,
also
she's
goes
asleep.
back and forth between that and Hideyoshi and Ava in the room, and Ava's really sick, and Hideyoshi's helping her,
Yeah.
and it's happening at the same time.
Shit, I don't know what that means. That means something, 100%. I just don't know what it means. This is something related to the story. Fuck, I don't. Shit. Now I'm curious. I want to know what's going on.
Okay, let's
Okay.
start.
Yeah, I guess we can just
Ushiramiya
start.
Ava is zing.
Sorry.
That's what you gotta say is Ava.
Yep.
Woo! Looks like she's finally calmed down. Hideyoshi wiped his own forehead. For a time, Ava had seemed to be having a very painful nightmare, but it appeared she'd finally fallen asleep. As promised, he still gripped Ava's hand. He thought it might be time to let go pretty soon, but he faithfully continued to hold on. Every once in a while, his hand would get tired, and he would switch between his right and his left. But even so, as promised, he didn't let go of her hand. At that time, there was a heavy knock. Ava had finally been able to fall asleep, so Hideyoshi grimaced for just an instant.
Aniki, Hideyoshi, sorry, is Rosa there?
It was Rudolph's voice. What could it be? Hideyoshi headed for the door, hiding his footsteps so that he wouldn't wake Ava. It was definitely Rudolph's voice, but just in case, he opened the door without removing the chain. What is it? Something happened to Rosa?
We can't find Rosa or Maria. I thought they might be with you.
I heard her scolding Maria in the corridor. They got quiet after that, so I thought they'd gone back to the lobby. But did they?
That idiot.
Rudolph clicked his tongue. Other people could be seen in the corridor. Rosa hadn't returned for a while after going out into the corridor, so they'd begun to worry. Near the front door, Natsui pointed at the unset chain. The chain isn't set. They must have gone outside to see that rose after all.
How extraordinarily careless to go out and leave the door unlocked. What a troublesome person.
I'm more worried about Rosa and Maria themselves.
Right. Hey, brats, where was this rose of Maria's?
I'm pretty sure it was in the flower bed, right in the middle of the rose garden. I haven't talked in Jessica's voice in a while.
Yeah.
If that were the case, what? If that's
What?
where they are, we should be able to spot them pretty quickly if we go.
Dad, shouldn't we bring them here as soon as we can?
Of course! We'll bring them back and give them a good spanking. I'll dash out there and come back. Lock the door as soon as I go out.
Dad, I'll go with you.
Don't be stupid. It's obviously a brat's job to watch over the house with Mama. Little fucking baby bitch, huh?
What is it? Did something happen?
Sorry, did I wake you up? It seems Rosa took Maria outside. How reckless of her.
Rosa and Maria-chan are outside in the rose garden with a murderer around.
That's right. Oh, did you hear? Maria was causing a ruckus because she wanted to see this rose.
They mustn't go to the rose garden. Tell Rosa to stop.
There's no telling her to stop now. It looks like they left a while ago. Seriously, how reckless of them.
That's not it. Not the rose garden. There's a witch there, and she's wanting for a sacrifice. Rosa, you mustn't go.
Ava cowered again, holding her head. Her complexion looked very bad. What is it? Did the fever make you dream something bad?
It's a dream, yes. In the rose garden, the witch doing that to Rosa and Maria. That's right, it's a dream. It must be.
Calm down. I'm here in this room, and the chain is set. The shutter's closed on the window, and we've even got a gun. This room is just like a fort. There's nothing to be afraid of. Hideyoshi beat his chest, trying to calm her, but Ava's insecure expression didn't change. Under the covers, Ava kept praying that the grotesque nightmare she just had was only a dream.
Weird. Kind of like how Carl Jung has prophetic visions of the future in his dreams. Whoa.
Except her dreams were happening at the same time. Oh, I heard a drip drop. Let's go to the
yeah, because
system.
they're dead now, so now we get to see how they...
Oh, we can't see it because there's a picture in the background. Someone told me in the comments of one of these videos that there's a glitch in the mod, 7th mod, that when there's a background, you can't see it. So we'll have to wait till the background's gone.
Okay, that actually makes sense. Somehow. It just confounds with it in some way. That makes sense.
In the center of Rose Garden, Rudolph identified the corpses of Rosa and Maria. After that, he returned to the guest house, called for help, and carried both of them into the guest house. If we can't trust Nanzo's examination, the cause of Rosa's death was a stab to the medulla oblongata with the pointed gate of the fence. It is thought that Maria's death was due to strangling with bare hands. However, due to the devil's proof, we cannot discount a misdiagnosis.
No, dude.
I will say it in red. Rosa and Maria died. The causes of death were as Nanjo diagnosed.
Oh, hey, that's pretty cool.
She wasn't eaten by a spider, nor was she crushed by a mountain of cake. Don't worry.
So, you argue that even though you toyed with their deaths so much, it's all fine because the corpse is neat and clean? I definitely won't forgive you. I definitely won't forget all of that brutal treatment you gave Aunt Rosa, so I won't forgive you.
Like I said, that wasn't me. I believe I gave them a much more peaceful death than the way she treated them.
Shut the hell up. I'm not talking to you. This is how we divide. It was stated that there are no more than 18 people on this island, and now that 8 people are already dead, we can narrow the field of suspects down to 10. One of them probably killed those 2. Or could it also be an accidental death? Like Maria was having a tantrum, and when Aunt Rosa tried to stop her crying, she misjudged how much power she was using and accidentally killed her. Then she was so upset that she slipped and fell, landed on the fence, and unluckily died. That's some pretty bad luck, dude. How's that? That way there's no need for a witch or magic.
Well, that's not quite true. Actually, Rosa and Maria...
Shut up. Didn't I say I wasn't talking to you? You're an eyesore, so disappear. You monster. You fucking freak.
Battler said that without rage, but with a horribly cold voice. That strange behavior was something Beato had noticed right off the bat. In a fight, both of them could go at each other without restraint. However, he wouldn't even step into the ring. She could feel that coldness. Beato didn't find that amusing. She thought about flaring up, but she held back. Maybe even though she was innocent and childish, she had enough sense to realize that she shouldn't pick fights. Is that so? Then I'll vanish. Ronove, continue for me.
Certainly. Will that be satisfactory, Battler?
There are no problems with her proposal. If Battler doesn't want to see Beato's face, perhaps that will do.
Do what you like. If I can live without seeing that monstrous face, I don't care about anything else.
Oh, poor Beatrice.
Okay,
we can probably read the tip now.
Can we read it now?
Yeah, we can. We can read it.
Weird.
Oh, and we can read EVA-Beatrice.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Solved the riddle of the witch's epitaph and was welcomed as the new Endless Witch. She was gifted with an aptitude for magic and is expected to grow into an extraordinary great witch. This genius of a witch often overindulged in her own power during her younger days. Such are the trials only geniuses may endure, and if she proves successful, her name will surely be engraved in the history of Endless Witches. Will she be able to overcome the trials that forced her predecessor to surrender?
Now let's go to
and we never read Virgilia.
Oh, really?
A now retired Endless Witch and Beatrice's teacher, she used the endless magic properly and devoted her life to the smiles and happiness of many people. She taught Beatrice the endless magic, believing that Beatrice would also devote herself to the people, and retired. Though she was Beatrice's teacher, she was also a magician employed by Beatrice's family. For that reason, she interacted with Beatrice in a manner fitting for a servant. Some point to this as the source of Beatrice's arrogance and recklessness.
Wow, that's very psychological. I am impressed at this man's diagnosis.
Now you can read Rosa and Maria.
Yeah, I'll read Rosa. So, Rosa died in the rose garden with her medulla oblongata pierced by the spear-shaped part of the fence. If Maria's death hadn't been a clear homicide, it may have been possible to suspect an accidental death in Rosa's case. This woman was the human sacrifice for the birth of the new witch. Whoa. Weird. Maria. Her corpse was found in the rose garden. The cause of her death was strangling, probably by bare hands. Circumstantial evidence makes it reasonable to assume that she was killed after Rosa. Then her blood became the red ink for the witch's oath.
And I think if we didn't read Ronove either. I forgot about him.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus. Alright, yeah, Ronove.
One of the 72 great demons, works for a master in exchange for various forms of compensation. He currently has a contract with Beatrice as her butler, head furniture. He's become proficient at housekeeping after serving in many households, so his ability as a butler is very high. In the high society of witches, employing him has become a kind of status symbol. Furthermore, the cookies he bakes are superb, and witches will often form a line demanding them. He must possess tremendous magical power, but since he always stays out of the spotlight to further boost his master's reputation, his combat capabilities are unknown.
Talking about fucking power levels in anime, dude. It's just... Fuck, we don't know what his power level is. He's fucking insanely strong.
It's over 9,000!
Over 9,000!
Hey, wait a second. You keep saying monster, monster, but isn't that a cruel way to speak of me? Why do you instinctively hate me so much, Battler? Even though none of that was me, even though it was all the work of my disciple.
It's not like I'm only mad about what happened just now. It's been like that from the very beginning, don't you see?
Hey, Battler, don't misunderstand, okay? Aren't we just a pair of players confronting each other through a game? We look for moves to make things painful for each other, but...
Don't get the wrong idea. I don't hate you because you're my rival in this strange game about whether I accept you as a witch or not. I just can't forgive how senselessly cruel you are.
Well, serial murders are a part of this game. It's probably impossible to avoid a little cruelty.
I mean, I guess. I mean, sure. I'm not talking about what just happened. There was the last time, and the time before that, too. Tearing everyone's stomachs open and stuffing them with sweets, plowing their faces. What was the point of all that?
That's, well...
When it comes to closed room murders and tricks and alibis, I'm willing to give you a pass. You want to claim that this is a murder done by magic, so I'll grudgingly accept that those complicated crimes need to occur. But what exactly is the point of all those grotesque murders? Gross, dude.
Well, nothing much.
That's right, they don't mean anything. You're just fooling around by mangling the corpses for fun. That has nothing to do with whether you're a witch or whether it could or couldn't be done with magic. You're just exploring the depths of cruelty for fun. This isn't about whether you're a witch or anything like that. There are just some things I can't forgive as a human.
What do you mean, as a human?
For example, the 6 people of the first Twilight for this game. Well, other than the grandfather being burned black, the other corpses were killed in a normal way without any unnecessary shaming of the dead. It wasn't clear whether the weapon was a spear or a gun, but anyway, as far as killing goes, that was acceptable. Ugh. It was much better than the nonsensical grotesqueness and cruelty from first Twilight last time, or the time before that. And this time there were 6 closed rooms tied together to make a closed room chain. That was sort of interesting, I guess. When we were going back and forth with each other that time, to be perfectly honest, I thought it was just a little fun. You were frantic to make me accept your existence, and I was frantic trying to deny it. We were both frantically doing all we could.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that part.
Yeah, I like that part too. Now it's kind of weird and sad and angry, and I don't like it. This may sound weird, but I felt a faint sense of sportsmanship between the two of us. We exist in conflict, but I faintly thought that we might not be completely unable to understand each other's existence. But just now, that feeling was blown away without a trace.
That's what you're misunderstanding. That wasn't me.
That's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. You watched Aunt Rosa being killed horribly over and over, and you sneered at it like it was an interesting show. You fucking sick fuck. When I saw that, I was deeply disappointed in you as a father figure. When I realized that your decision to kill them in a slightly better way this time was nothing more than a faint whim, and that nothing had changed in your cruel character, I was deeply disappointed in you, son. On the contrary, you were even genuinely enjoying those brutal deaths. You weren't just acting as cruel as you could to bully me, dude. You truly, genuinely enjoy cruelty. Your character lets you enjoy it. You fucking sick fuck. You said I'd probably think that Aunt Rosa being brutally killed over and over was fun. You weren't joking. You enjoyed it from the bottom of your heart, wanted me to sympathize, and said that I'd probably think it was fun. In that instant, I lost respect for you and realized the truth. The problem isn't whether you're a witch or not. I will not forgive that cruelty of yours, and I can't understand it. I can't forgive it either. Still, I'll continue this game of whether to accept or deny witches. Well, I won't step down and accept my own defeat. However, your pointless cruelty is absolutely unnecessary for that game, so I've decided that I won't accept you as my opponent. Ronave is 100 times better than you. He doesn't have the same cruel hobby you do. Even if he does, he doesn't have the awful taste to show it off in front of me. That's right, you have awful taste. You're heartless and cruel, so you can't understand. That's unpleasant in an opponent. So I don't want to see your face again. Get the fuck out of my sight, you...
As Battler went on and on by himself, Beato was shocked into silence for a long time. Maybe she couldn't understand what she was being told, and this was a sign that she was doing all she could in an effort to understand. For a while, she kept switching between angry expressions, frustrated expressions, bold expressions, as though even she herself didn't know what attitude she should take. In the end, she made her face into a candid expression, as though she had come to her senses, and shrugged her shoulders as though she was tired.
Catharsis.
In that case, do as you like. From now on, I will continue this game through Ronave. You have no complaints as long as I don't show myself, right?
For the time being, but I definitely won't forgive all of your cruel actions up until now. And I definitely won't accept you. For that reason as well, I won't back down from this fight you've picked. And I definitely won't lose. And that's all there is to it.
Beato, no matter how many more excuses you give, his impression will not waver. I have something to talk about later. Until then, stay back. Indeed. Understood. Then I'll vanish until you call.
Wow.
Poor Beatrice.
Poor
Beato.
Beatrice, dude. Wait, no, I don't care about Beatrice, dude. Fuck Beatrice.
Looking lonely, Beato turned her back to them and vanished. Battler watched, a slightly displeased expression on his face. He thought his argument had been valid, but for some reason his mood didn't clear up.
She's an idiot. Fucking stupid.
That's true. An idiot is a straightforward one.
That idiot watched Aunt Rosa get killed horribly with me, then turned around with a huge smile on her face. She really believed that she could laugh with me at that cruel show. She really believed I could sympathize with that emotion. Looking at that innocent smile, I felt just horrible. It would have been much better if she'd said it with her normal bullying face. Damn it!
Brady has never had the experience of having a friend. Aw, poor Beato.
No, I don't give a shit. Fuck her.
In addition, she's probably never had something spoken to her that strongly. Madam and I are her attendants. No matter what we say, it will not reach her ears. For milady, this is also.
Don't screw with me. I don't remember ever becoming her friend.
That's true enough. My apologies. There's one thing I would like to thank you for. Thank you for not backing down from that child's game.
Dude, yay!
She spoke words of gratitude, but for some reason, Battler made a displeased face. Then, as though in self-derision, he chuckled.
Now that I've even got witches and demons thanking me, I'm screwed. Let's resume the game. Of course, I don't intend to go easy on you.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Unlike milady, I do not get agitated.
I've already made my move. If we suppose that Aunt Rose is the culprit and died in an accident, I can deny the witch. I don't want to suspect Aunt Rosa, but I think I can bear to accept the premise that if it'll beat the hell out of Beato,
I will deny it with red. Rosa and Maria's deaths were homicides.
What? Okay, let's start from there. Damn, I'm just not getting fired up. So, the homicides, they were killed by someone. Wait a second, but that means like Rosa could have killed her own daughter. Since it's a homicide.
That means that Maria could have killed Rosa.
I mean...
Thrown her up on the face.
Fucking strong-ass demon child.
With Rosa and Maria's deaths, it was now clear that the culprit was still hiding somewhere, trying to add even more murders to this chain. As he shed tears, Rudolph scolded Rosa's corpse for being reckless several times, but Rosa would never respond to that again.
Damn it, Rosa.
They decided to place the two corpses in one of the guest rooms and to seal it until the police arrived. The second murder, no, the murder of the second Twilight had delivered a heavy blow to everyone. It had blown away the optimism that some of them had held, the thought that a crime didn't actually occur, and it was all a game or a farce by Kinzo and the servants. Trying to distract themselves from the loss of the people they liked, George and Jessica had spent the whole time since morning talking about every possibility, and they had distracted their hearts by supposing that these murders might actually have all been an act, and that Shannon and Cannon were only pretending to be dead.
But
When the
no,
next
it's not
murder occurred, it destroyed that thought, and they were once again struck by the fact that the person they liked had most definitely been killed. The tears that they thought had died away began to drip down once more, and Batware couldn't think of anything to say to them. After that, all of the adults checked that all of the rooms were safe and locked, just in case. They made certain that the shutters on all of the windows were down and locked, and they confirmed that no one suspicious was hiding anywhere. On top of that, they checked their weapons once again, and checked with each other to make sure that they were mentally prepared, so that they wouldn't hesitate to fire off a preemptive shot if they saw the shadow of a mysterious person. Rosa's gun had been found near the scene of the crime. Someone had gone out of their way to leave it there, so everyone suspected that it was some kind of trap, but when Hideyoshi delicately used a fire island to fire off test shots, it was able to discharge without incident.
Damn.
So, since the 5 shots loaded into it had discharged without any problems, they reloaded it with bullets and handed it over to the only adult male who wasn't armed, Hideyoshi.
Oh no.
However, the fact that it had been able to fire off 5 shots gave rise to a certain paranoia. This short-barrel Winchester could hold only 5 shots. In other words, Rosa hadn't fired even once. And yet, the two had probably been killed by someone with their bare hands. This meant there was a possibility that the crime had been committed by someone whose face they knew. When the first murder occurred, I privately thought of the possibility that it was all an act. My apologies to Dr. Nanjo, but if he had actually been an accomplice, I thought the deaths of all the servants might possibly have been a massive elaborate act by Father. After all, the closed room situation they were in couldn't have been created unless we supposed that it was all an act.
We also suspected that. No, I still won't believe that's the case.
My apologies, but that is not so. I'm quite old. I might possibly make a misdiagnosis. However, I would never mistake whether they were alive or dead.
I get it. Don't go out of your way to say it out loud, Dr. Nanjo. Fucking, she's dead, dude.
My apologies.
They had no way of knowing. But Pietro had already used the wed to proclaim the deaths of the 6. No, the deaths of all victims so far in this game. That faint dream that it was all a farce, that the victims were actually alive. I'm sorry to say it, but that's impossible.
In that case, it makes more sense to assume it's someone familiar with the mansion, someone hiding around and carrying out a really well-polished crime. So ever since the typhoon came to this island and sealed it off from the outside world, there's been more than 18 people here.
Of course, there was no way for them to know about that either. That claim of Rudolph's had also been denied in WED. There are no more than 18 humans on this island. I might have a way to look at it that keeps things consistent, at least a little. Simply put, this person in hiding is someone who shouldn't really be on this island right now. And yet, there's a likelihood that they were someone Rosa knew, someone she'd let her guard down around.
So, for example, could it be a servant who wasn't on this 2-day shift?
It's hard to be certain about that one. When our servants finish their work and leave the island, it isn't as though we punch their tickets or something to make sure. If we're supposing that the servant on the ship from a few days ago only pretended to leave the island and actually stayed there, that would be hard to deny.
I don't think Rosa is such a fool. If a servant who wasn't supposed to be here popped up in front of you, who wouldn't be on their guards?
I'm not even sure we should be assuming that it was someone she recognized. Maybe they suddenly attacked Rosa from the darkness and were about to steal her gun. Then Rosa fell, hit her head against the fence, and stopped moving. The guest house was nearby, and they wanted to avoid the sound of the gunfire, so they killed Maria with their bare hands.
There's also the possibility, still, even if that is the case, would they really intentionally leave Rosa's gun at the scene of the crime? We don't know what the culprit's armed with, but they've got to feel insecure about our guns. Wasn't that the perfect chance for them to thin out our supply? Why would they intentionally leave at the scene of the crime?
At first, I thought that gun was a trap. That's what chessboard thinking says it should be. By purposefully leaving it, they wanted to make one of us touch it. And they must have wanted to make us pull the trigger. I was sure that something dangerous had been done to it to make it explode and cause massive injuries.
But it was actually okay. The culprit probably panicked. I'll bet that right now they're regretting that they missed their chance to steal a gun.
I don't like it. It ticks me off like a message from the witch saying she isn't even scared of guns. Fuck her.
However, in any event, this is truly a fearsome opponent. Even at a glance, they should have been able to tell that Rosa had a gun. To think that they attacked her despite that. The fact that they are unafraid of guns should not be taken lightly.
Indeed. It is Natsui says. We should probably be even more cautious than we have been.
This is just for peace of mind, but at the time we think Rosa was attacked outside, where was everyone?
Oh shit. Natsui and I were here along with Rudolph and Kirie. I can guarantee their alibis. Hehehe.
Ava and I were together. I can guarantee that.
George, why the fuck did I say it in Rudolph's voice? George, Jessica, and I were together when Aunt Rosa yelled at us to return to the second floor. We retraced our steps back to the cousin's room, all dejected. Oh shit. Everybody has an alibi. What the fuck? Back then. Jesus Christ. Back then, if we hadn't let Maria go, oh my god, we fucking caused her death. Saying that isn't going to change anything, Jessica. Dr. Nacho.
I was reading a book in a room on the second floor. I was by myself, so no one can verify my alibi. But I believe everyone saw me return to the second floor with the children.
No likely story.
Once I say this, it'll never end. But what if you jumped out the window, attacked Rosa, then climbed back using a rain gutter or something, even despite the fact that you're so fat?
Don't be absurd. How could I perform a feat such as jumping down from the second story or climbing up with this old body?
And he's fat too.
Let us stop suspecting each other. It's more important that we trust each other and, for the children's sake as well, defend this place until the very end.
You're right. It's like Natsui says. For now, let's stop suspecting each other.
That's right. We may be useless as far as searching for the culprit is concerned. We can only stay alive until tomorrow, inform the police, and follow their instructions, because the police will definitely expose who the culprit is.
This is getting very interesting.
What is it, Ava? Is your body still feeling bad?
Mother, what's wrong? Are you okay? Sorry, it looks like my fever is still strong. I'll be fine, so leave me alone.
When they looked, they saw Ava staring at the floor, her breathing harsh again. She had been able to act firm for a time due to the urgency of their situation, but it seemed her body wasn't at its best after all.
Oh shit, what was her voice? She was Russian, right?
She was Russian.
Alright. Yeah, I killed those two. Now we're the only ones who know about the gold. I won't give up even a scrap to the other siblings. What have you done?
No, this is...
Alright, yeah. What have you done? There was so much of that gold, right? Giving Rosa and the others the share wouldn't have been a problem at all, right? It would. That gold is to be passed on by the head of the Ushuramiya family. This because it as a whole represents no more or less than the honor of the head. To ruin that even a tiny bit is definitely not something that the new golden witch Beatrice will permit. Do you plan to continue these murders according to the witch's epitaph? Do you actually plan to become a murderer 5 more times? Yeah, if I don't finish that annoying ceremony, it seems my power as a witch won't become complete. Hey, me. The power of the witch is really awesome. It really can make all the crazy things we imagine become reality. The power to make dreams more than just dreams. Now that I've learned of this power, I can no longer stop being a witch. If I can finish the ceremony and make my power complete, I'm sure I'll be able to teach you that feeling too. Stop acting like a fool. Haven't you played at being a witch enough? We found the gold, and we've even been promised the position of the successor. We'll probably need to tightrope walk just a bit, but by now that's a dream that will definitely come true. Beyond that, what more could you wish for? I wanted to become a witch. I don't give a damn about that dream. That's right, because I kept holding on to that dream. I've lived this age forever. When you became an adult, you threw that dream away. No matter how long you wait, a rabbit holding a clock won't visit you, and you won't be able to meet Humpty Dumpty. Of course, you definitely won't be invited to the land of cards. Because you gave up and accepted all that, you became an adult. Ha. So you don't want to become a witch or anything like that anymore. You've even forgotten that it truly was your own dreams at one point. Anyways, stop it. I've already gotten my hands on the 2 dreams. The gold and the position of the head. That's more than enough. So please, your dream has nothing to do with me. Stand down. No way. Magic is too interesting. Also, those 2 dreams of yours both came true because of my magic. It wouldn't be fair if my dream didn't come true too. I'm grateful for your magic, and I acknowledge that you're a real witch. So just stand down and return to the inside of my heart and never appear again. No way. We're both misunderstanding each other, aren't we? That's right, I'm not you anymore. You are Ushuramiya Eva. I am the Golden Witch Beatrice. So it's not my responsibility to go back inside your heart. I guess I feel like a butterfly who's broken out of her cocoon, meaning you. Ha. Ha. Oh shit. Ha. The fever. It's making my mind cloudy. My inexperience with magical power is forcing me to support it with your vitality. Until I finish the ceremony and become a full witch, you might have to bear the burden. I'll take that as payment for making 2 of your dreams come true. It's fine, don't worry, okay? For the remaining 5 sacrifices, I'll avoid your family. Let's see, Rudolph, Kiri, Kraus, Natsui. After that, what about the old geezer Nanjo? Perfect, I'll kill those 5 people. Could you call this a murder announcement revealed only to you? I'll fucking kill everyone.
Eva finally crouched down. Hideyoshi watched up to her and went to his shoulder.
Are you okay? Let's take it easy and rest.
Are you alright? Dr. Nanjo, take a look at Eva.
When Anjo and George tried to approach, Eva made a gesture to stop them.
Thank you. I'm fine, Dr. Nanjo. I'm taking medicine. I apologize for saying this during such an extreme situation, but let me rest a little longer.
Mom, I'll lend a hand too.
Thank you, but I'll be fine as long as your father watches over me. Go back to the second-story cousin's room and don't come out no matter what. Understood? No matter what happens, you must not leave the guest house. Outside, that witch will...
Don't talk anymore. Sorry, everyone, but I'll be watching over Ava in our room. Tell us if something happens.
Hideyoshi and Ava retweeted from the lobby. However, Ava wasn't the only one who wasn't feeling good. They hadn't gotten a wink of sleep since the previous night, and had been pressed by tension since that morning. They were mustering their energy to protect their families, but if they relaxed even a whittle, surely everyone would be down and out.
Exhaustion sets in. That idea of like, the id kind of expressing itself. Wait, no, it's not. Never mind, I gotta think about this more. Never mind, I'm retarded.
Everything has gone as planned until now, but from here on out it will become difficult, you see.
Difficult, meaning?
Indeed. Normally, as the ceremony progresses and the victims increase in number, they begin to tighten their guard, and in most cases they hole up in one place and stop moving. That is extremely inconvenient for us.
Are you saying that we witches are inferior to a bunch of humans in a group?
Witches are never inferior to humans. However, perhaps you could say that times change and that humans have gotten their hands on a poison. This wasn't a problem long ago when people believed in witches, but just like that annoyance battler, people in the current era deny magic on a fundamental level. In other words, their existence itself is anti-magical. As a result, at some point they grew to possess a toxin inside their bodies that denies magic.
In other words, you're saying that the more humans there are, the stronger that magic-resisting toxin gets, and the greater the disadvantages for us witches.
The combined amount of power in their hearts that denies magic, in other words, their magic resistance power becomes the denominator in the equation of your magic's power. Understand? Is that a bit too difficult for you?
No, it is simple mathematical concept that I can understand fully. You're joking. Actually, I understand it easily. In other words, you're saying that the more people there are who don't believe in magic, and the stronger their will is, the more effects of our magic are divided. Yes, if it's so formulaic, I'll have to rethink my method of attack.
Fundamentally, magic possesses a vast power. It can even make a rain of fire fall from the heavens or divide a sea, and reviving a lost life isn't impossible either. However, that power is extremely weak against the toxin that rejects it, and that toxin started piling up in humans since the time they forgot to respect things sacred, until finally, this earth was covered with enough toxin that the miracles of magic could not be displayed. Thus, witches from across the world were chased from their dwellings. They had been forced to choose to throw away their magic and live as humans, or else live in hiding in remote areas where the toxin of humans didn't reach. In that sense, Rockinjima, with its population of only a few dozen humans, was extremely favorable for witches. And even more favorable was the existence of the ghost story about the witch who lived in the Rockinjima forest. In other words, by permeating the island with the fear that a witch might exist, the magic-resisting toxin from the humans was weakened. A small population, and room for them to acknowledge magical beings. In other words, minds that were only weakly anti-magical. Only by existing in the valley where those two converged could a witch live in modern times.
There's something to that idea. I see. So using this formula, we can arrive at several rules for how a witch could use her power efficiently. The first is presentation. Create a murder scene that couldn't conceivably have been done by humans. Decorate it in an occult way. Make it look very much like a witch exists and permeate people with fear to make them believe that witches exist. As a result, the anti-magic power and the denominator of our magical power will be decreased. I see, so this way, the creepy magic circles on the first Twilight were created.
That's right, exactly. The gaudy scenes for the first Twilight in each game are all for that reason. It's definitely not as though I like being cruel or am doing it for fun.
Jesus Christ. In that case, predecessors, You failed this time around. You killed them in a very plain way. It doesn't look like anything more than a simple mystery. I heard about last time, the time before that from Rendezvous. You should damage the corpses more grotesquely like you did then, making it look more like fantasy and instilling fear into those people.
Well, about that, I thought it wouldn't be artful to do that every time, you see. Don't think too deeply on it, it's just a whim. Actually, it really had been her whim. After what Battler had said to her, she couldn't say it out loud anymore, but she really had decided her methods of killing based on mere whims. No, would it be better to say that she had half-heartedly let Ronave decide? After all, she left the closed rooms of this game's first twilight to him.
Yeah, that's true.
But if she'd had a cruel idea, then she would surely have explored the limits of atrocity even worse than in the previous game.
You told me the social restraint when deciding Rosa and Marie's deaths too, but that wasn't the course of action beneficial to us bitches either, was it? In actuality, by now none of them believed one bit that the witch actually exists. They're totally sure it's mystery, not a fantasy. This turn of event is a failure from a witch perspective. For some reason, you keep doing things in kind of lukewarm way, predecessor.
Like they say, things you learn when you're young will definitely help you out in the future. This is a test passed on from my predecessor to you. Take it on with respect. Beato tried to laugh heartily, but it was obviously the fake laugh of someone trying to cover something up, and the new witch shrugged with a sigh.
At this stage, it's probably too late to create a scene and reduce the anti-magic power. In that case, there's another move. Getting the humans to split up should work.
Indeed, that is probably the most effective way. The smaller the number of humans, the more the denominator shrinks. As a result, the magical power functions instantaneously. In other words, it all begins from one point: how to destroy this barricade situation and have them split up into small groups. However, they are already very cautious. The barricade won't be easily destroyed, right? Both the barricade in Kinzo's study 2 games ago and the barricade in the parlor last time were very stubborn. Furthermore, most of the cunning adults still remain this time. The situation is more difficult than all the ones before it, understand? If you wish, I could give you some special advice. In a closed circle, when the first murder case occurs, the survivors always hole up, gathering together to observe each other and ensure their safety. Funnily enough, not only do mystery authors and murder culprits worry about how to break that situation apart, but so do witches, who supposedly exist at the other end of the spectrum. For a while, the new witch poked her cheek with her pointer finger, and after acting as though she was planning something, she spoke.
No, I'm fine. After all, it is a test. I won't borrow your moves, ha.
Really? Still, it will be rather difficult to defeat this barricade, right?
I've already made my move. I'm pretty sure it'll work, and it'll definitely work on someone smart.
Is that so? You really are excellent. I'm pleased to see that my disciple won't be causing me much trouble.
My motto is studying things to My motto is to study things myself before asking other people. Then, if you would excuse me, I have to wait for my prey to get lured out.
Indeed. Well then, handle it with care.
Goodbye.
As the new witch lowered her head, her face blank, she turned into gold butterflies and vanished. Beato didn't look happy at all. She seemed to be lonely because of how little she was being relied on. Not one of them gives a fig for me. You witch apprentice acting so smart. I'll bet she makes some painful mistake and starts crying. Then, without a doubt, she'll finally realize my greatness and beg me to teach her. Until then, I shall watch from on high. She laughed loudly on the outside, but a laugh no one can hear is completely pointless. Beato gave up and quickly stopped laughing. Ronave chose that time to show himself. Excuse me, Barricade. The game of the second Twilight with Battler has ended. I see. Good work. What was the result? My sincere apologies. I was forced to resign. By saying in red that both deaths were homicides, I made Battler revise his claim of Rosa strangled Maria to death, then died in an accident. But I could not repel his chain of moves placing Eva as the principal offender. Wasn't Eva sleeping in her room the whole time as Hideyoshi cared for her? He put forth the possibility that Hideyoshi was an accomplice and that the two worked together to create an alibi. He even suspects Hideyoshi. Couldn't you have struck back by saying in red that he was in the guest room at the time of the murder? I also thought of that, but multiple important pieces might have been taken several moves later. And, because this move might be connected to the new Beatrice's strategy, I acted out of respect to her. My apologies. Strategy, you say? Her mind does seem to be sharp. Humph, we can't let her do as she pleases. It will be quite a show to see how far she can go. Poo-coo-coo-coo. I thought you would say that. I see that the uncuteness of your disciple has left you in a bad mood. That's none of your business. I wonder how that one plans to destroy this barricade going forward. I shall keep a close eye on her. Oh, and how was Battler's mood? It appeared as though he had calmed himself down. He did say that he couldn't get fired up after all, without you as his opponent. Really? Well, that's no surprise at all. If I don't return for the fourth twilight and after, Battler will probably be lonely by himself. Bukoku. And with that, if you will excuse me, I need to go bake some delicious cookies. I must at least enliven the discussion between you and Battler, milady. Indeed. That guy really was munching your cookies, wasn't he? It's no surprise that a boy can eat so much. Make a lot of them.
She's blushing
Certainly.
right now.
Yeah. I shall make enough cookies to bury the table. That sounds great.
I guess it's some sort of like reaction formation. That's what it is. Jesus
Reaction
Christ!
formation.
I need to piss really bad. I like need to piss right now. I'll just go really quick. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Really quick.
So, he's gone. We haven't even been recording for an hour. Don't know why he couldn't hold it. I think we're at the end. But you know what? It's up to him. He'll be gone. He'll be back. But I've got to talk to you guys for now. And this is Rudolph, Kyrie. They're discussing the riddle of the epitaph, which I will say here. The answer, he'll never know. The answer is that the gold is in the sky. It's a golden land in the sky. That's where the gold is, and he'll never listen to this. He'll never know. Right, Mike? Never will you listen to this. I'm talking quietly because my dad is hanging around. That's why I've been talking quietly. He's been hanging around in the walls in here are pretty thin, and he's been coming into my room, if you heard him, and he was talking to me, but I couldn't hear him over Mike talking. But where is Mike? Where is Mike? I need him to come back. I can't think of anything else to say, and it's making this video easier.
Oh.
I heard something. Okay, there he is.
Okay. I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on? What did you want to talk about?
Kiwie called Rudolph out into the corridor. It was obvious that she wanted to talk about something that she didn't want the others to hear.
Yeah? What?
I want to go outside.
What? You crazy broad?
That's the end. You left.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
God damn. I had to piss for so long. Because I fucking drink coffee. I was like, I was shaking my leg and shit. I was like, oh fuck, I need to piss. I could have just held it out for another minute or two. Not even a minute or two. That was like
15 seconds. And it's coming back to Kraus.
Come back to Kraus. I think Kraus and Nats. I don't know who did it, dude. Everybody has some kind of alibi in one shape or form, and it's hard. Ooh.
I like how Maria died on the second Twilight.
I like how Maria died.
Well,
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean you like how Maria died on the second Twilight?
Well, because she's annoying.
Yeah.
No, well, every single other time she made it to the end. She made it all the way to
Actually,
the end.
yeah, that is true. So now it's kind of shaking things up a little bit. Now it's like, okay, she isn't actually immune. She isn't actually a witch. Ava's the witch all along.
Well, yeah, because we know what Maria has to say. Oh, Beatrice is the witch.
Yeah. Beatrice is the
Yeah, good. Okay, thanks, Maria, for your
Beatrice
input.
is the witch. Beatrice.
Okay. Well, are you ready to stop?
Yep, ready to stop. See you all next episode.
Awesome.